Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and welcome back to my channel, where today we are turning the tables on The Sims 4. We are taking things back to the early 2000s, and we are playing this game as I would play the original Sims. I was a mere 6 years old when the original Sims came out, so don't ask me why my parents allowed me to play it. Fun fact, my older brother did used to have to sit with me whenever I played this game. So I've tried to make The Sims 4 look as bad as possible. I have put it on the same resolution that I was about to say 90s kids, but The Sims wasn't out in the 90s. It came out in 2000. That us kids had to play on our PCs. This was the resolution that our PCs used to be in. I have taken out all of my custom content and I've tried to make it look as ratchet as possible. And I'm gonna try and play this game as you would if you were playing The Sims 1. I originally got this idea whilst I was on a live stream, and I built a house kind of the way I used to build houses in the original Sims when I was about 6 years old and had no idea of what I was doing. So I've decided that I'm just gonna go off defaults. I'm gonna go off like the default face. I'm gonna use base game content, and I'm also gonna try and make it as realistic to the original Sims, which in The Sims there was only 3 skin tones. There was a fair skin tone, there was a medium skin tone, and there was a dark skin tone. So we are gonna go for, I feel like this is a medium skin tone, so we're gonna stick with this. He has his default face on, and I'm also going to sort by base game and give him a hairstyle. I feel like this hairstyle was definitely one that I used pretty frequently in the original Sims. Some of them have far too much texture to be even considered. Oh, but this one, nope, he's got a fade on the side. You can definitely not use that one. Maybe this one. I feel like they were all kind of blocky, so we're gonna go with this one. I feel like this is Mortimer Goth's hair. No, Mortimer Goth actually has a different hairstyle. He has like the kind of gelled back one. I can't really see it in this. He has this one. That's the Sims 4 Mortimer Goth hair. But we're gonna go for this. And then facial hair. They could used to have facial hair. They could used to have beards or like little like mustaches. I'm gonna give him this just to give him a bit more depth. I don't know why, but I always tended to start off either with a family or with a male sim. Maybe I was just like subconsciously already flirting with women more than I liked flirting with men at that time. So hey, I used to create male Sims. Then clothing, everything, you either had the really far out stuff in clothing, or you used to have like a suit or a t-shirt or a button-up shirt. Is there just a white button-up shirt? Yep, he definitely would have worn this. Is there like a short-sleeved one? I don't think there is. Damn, it would have been great if there was a short-sleeved one. But I used to have like my male Sims. I mean, there's this, but that's a little bit too, I mean, that definitely would have been around in original Sims. Let's not even lie. Is there a plain white one of this? Oh my god, yes, this is pretty much exactly how I used to dress my male Sims. Then base game once again. I mean, these trousers are kind of doing it for me already, so let's stick with those. And then we're gonna probably go, I do have a picture of like one Sims character up on my screen, but we're gonna go for, I think, just black shoes. He's a plain kind of Jane. He looks exactly like the characters I used to create in The Sims 1. Oh my goodness. I love this so much. In The Sims 1, you didn't have aspirations, so we're not really gonna focus on aspiration anyway, so I'm just gonna pick whatever. I'll go for a Renaissance sim. However, you did pretty much have a trait system. The only things that you could pick from were neat, outgoing, active, playful, and nice. And you had like 20 personality points, and you could like choose to spread them out evenly between them, or like make a really messy sim. However, he was super athletic. There was only certain things that you could do. Obviously, we don't have that in The Sims 4, so I think I'm going to make him, I mean, playful. I feel I definitely went for active a lot of the time. Like he was super active. He was also they were pretty, I mean, I didn't really care for neat, so I guess we will make him a slob, because that's the closest to not really caring about being neat. And then I always made them kind of nice, so we're gonna go for cheerful. There we go. That's the closest I can get. We aren't gonna make a family for him, because I actually want to focus on, like, finding him a lover, so we'll just leave him as a single sim for now. I don't know what I want to call you. What name would I have chosen as a child? I feel like I probably would have called him, like, John, like, White or something like that. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a name I would have gone for in my 6-year-old brain. So this is John White. This is who we're going to be playing as. And I'm going to quickly move him in to Willow Creek, because I feel like that's the most base game, standard world that you could probably think of. It's going to be summer, because I don't think we had seasons in The Sims 1. I was a kid when this game was out, okay? So please do not yell at me if I get anything wrong. Like, I played this from the ages of about 6 years old to about 11 years old. And then I moved on to The Sims 2. So I don't remember a lot. I know there's people probably watching this who are older than me, who are like, Molly, you're getting all this information wrong. But I was a mere child when I used to play this game. I don't know where we're gonna move to, though. I think I want like a bigger lot, because I know exactly what kind of house I want to create. So I'm gonna move him in, and I'm gonna quickly speed build his home for you guys. So here we go. We are in Willow Creek, and I definitely already had an idea of how I wanted to build this house, because it was a house that I went back to again and again in The Sims 1. I don't know why I was so obsessed with making houses look like this in The Sims 1. I think I just didn't enjoy playing with houses that had 2 levels, so I always decided to go with just 1 level. But as I was building this, I remembered like some of the controls for the original Sims, and you couldn't like change the pitch, I feel like. I feel like the camera pitch was always at the same level. Like, I don't think they even had an option for where the camera sat. There was definitely a zoom out and zoom in option, but again, that like was only, I think there was about 3 different places that it automatically like switched to. So I don't think you could actually like zoom in and zoom out at a level that you decided. It kind of just switched between 3 different variations, and you had to work with what you got. So a lot of this speed build is done with the same camera pitch. I think I forget like a couple of times whilst I'm building, and also either super zoomed in or on this kind of like far out setting so that I could actually see the house. Whilst I was actually building this, I was watching James's, he did like a speed build in The Sims 1, and I was watching his video to kind of remind myself, because as I said, I was 6 years old when I started playing this game, and I can't really remember it. I mean, I'm 24 years old now. Like, I still have the memories of the families I used to play as, and for example, the houses I used to build, because oh my goodness. If you remember the struggle of having to use Rosebud instead of Motherlode, then you are a child of The Sims and my growing up. It was such a pain in the bum. But yeah, I remember the families that I used to play. For example, I always go back to a sim that I created when Superstar actually came out, and I made a sim that was based off Britney Spears. Obviously, she didn't look that much like her because The Sims 1 had no definition. Like, you can actually see them close up and see what they actually look like. But I made the closest resemblance to Britney Spears as possible. And then in Create a Sim, I accidentally called her Brinty Spears instead of Britney. I was so mad at myself, and like, you couldn't hop back into Create a Family. There wasn't a cheat that you could just go back into Create a Sim and change up their name. So I had to live with Brinty Spears as my super famous singer in The Sims Superstar. And I actually grew to love her. I hated her at first because she just reminded me of what a failure I was. But after a while, after she became super famous and just started earning loads of money, I grew to love her. As you can see, I'm currently trying to go through the appliances. All we really had in The Sims 1 were actually food blenders. I can't remember if we had microwaves or not. I feel like we must have done, but then again, maybe not. And we also had dishwashers, but the dishwashers didn't go under counters. They just sat as like their own big appliance. But then I think they worked as a counter. I can't really remember, but I know they definitely had to stand alone. So this is how I made all of my houses. I literally used to sit for hours with like a pad of paper and a pen, and I used to plan out my homes. Somehow they would all end up looking like this exact one that I'm building. So kind of a reception area with either a piano or a computer in there. Then a kitchen, which always looked the same. It was the black and white tiles and like red counters. Then a living room, a kid's bedroom, even though when I started playing, I didn't even have kids. I just made a kid's bedroom because I was like, well, this is where I'm gonna end up, because that was one of the only end goals that you could set yourself in the original Sims, was to like have a family at the end of the day. You could work on your career and get to like level 10 of your career and you could make a family, and that was pretty much the only options that you had in the game. You had no aspirations to work yourself up to. And speaking of creating a family, I was actually just gonna do this all in one video, but one, I'm super sick right now, so I didn't really feel like sitting down and recording for that long, especially with like straining my voice. So I've decided to basically make a mini series out of this, playing The Sims 4 as I would the original Sims. So this is gonna probably be like 3 or 4 parts, maybe 5 parts, depending on how quickly we can get it done. But we're going to start this man off in a career, and then there's actually a really cool lot that I found on the gallery that someone had created, and it's pretty much a resemblance of The Sims Hot Date, and it's kind of like the downtown area, which is pretty darn cool. So I've downloaded that into my game already. We're gonna do like a 5-part mini series at most on trying to find this dude a hot date and create a family for him. As I was building, I only stuck to using the 1 square tiles because we didn't have like half tiles. The controls were just crazy. Like, thinking back on it now, you were so restricted. And like, looking at The Sims 3 and The Sims 4, you can't believe how far this game has come. Like, what is possible now in The Sims 4? Like, even walls up and walls down, like, there wasn't really a hotkey for that, I don't even think. There wasn't a eyedrop tool, so you couldn't clone items. You had to go back through the catalog and choose everything. I know a lot of people say they want to go back to the original Sims, but trust me, you do not. Go and play that game and then play The Sims 4 and just be thankful for what we have. And then I moved on to the grown-up bedroom, which was disgusting. But unfortunately, we don't have the vibrating love heart bed. If anyone knows if that exists for The Sims 4, then please let me know, because I use that all the time. But this video is gonna end here, and I'm gonna continue with part 2 and finding John a family. So definitely tune in for the next part of this mini series. And if there's any other creator that you want to see play this kind of fun challenge, then let them know. Tag me on Twitter if you guys do it. If you recreate a Sims house that you used to build in The Sims 4, I would love to see them. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will speak to you all in the next part. Bye, guys!